Right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how Reddit founder was on Stephen Colbert last night, and he was talking about cryptocurrency, and it was very, very brief, but I'm going to talk about why it was important. I'm going to read the article, and then we're going to talk about Bytecoin again, and why we're going to stay away from it, and basically what happened yesterday, and why that pump was so huge that created a third market cap temporarily for Bytecoin. And we're going to get into some other news as well. But first and foremost, I have a donation that I would like to shout out on the bottom of the donation list here. We have $4.08 in Litecoin from an anonymous donor. So I just received $4.08, and I thank you. I don't know who you are. Normally, people always say who they are or it's some kind of name attached to it. But in the past couple cases, it's just been some anonymous donor. So I really thank you guys for that. I always shout out my donators. And that is that. So right into the main article here. Reddit founder says crypto can fuel a potential new internet. So I did watch this episode of Stephen Colbert only because it had crypto on it. Normally I don't really care for Stephen Colbert too much because literally all it is like a half an hour of Trump bashing. And that's all fine and good. President bashing is hilarious. But when that's all you do for like every single episode, it gets old pretty fast. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are poised to fuel a potential new internet, even with a high level of volatility, says Alexis Ohanian, founder of the social media giant. So appearing as a guest on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on Tuesday, Ohanian touted the idea of a digital currency acting as a store of value not backed by a single country. So while he said that idea may sound silly to people living in more developed nations, such as the U.S., Ohanian believes the real value of cryptocurrency is its ability to secure and transfer assets across national borders, especially for countries that are less economically stable. So this is a very, very valid point that I've been talking about on my channel for a long time. So, you know, Ripple is used for that a lot. I understand that a lot of people don't like Ripple. Some people do. It's kind of like split in the middle. Some people like Ripple, some people don't because it's the evil banks and, you know, well, it wasn't created by banks, but you guys know what I mean. They like to use it. Either way, it's still a great idea. Because sending, you know, U.S. dollars across the country to China or to Turkey or to some country that is not the U.S. takes forever, and it costs a ton of money. Have you guys ever even used any kind of lending service like that, such as, oh, what are they even called? I don't even know. I forgot literally what it was called. But in so many states, there are uncertainties about government and money, and people see their lives savings disappear. So there's a real value in having a currency that, as volatile as Bitcoin is, are potentially less volatile than some of the states that see hyperinflation. So for so many people around the world, they have security of knowing what yours is yours, because it is now digital. It can be transferred with you wherever you're going. It's actually pretty empowering. So if you guys are watching this, and I'm going to put all these links in the description below. So when you click on this one, if you just right-click on this or just click on this, it'll bring you to that snippet on YouTube. And again, it doesn't start till like later on, but it is still a pretty interesting video. So later in the show, Ohanian noted that he ceased managing the day-to-day operations of Reddit in January this year and has initiated a venture capital fund together with former Combinator partner Gary Tan. Weird. All right. So as part of that effort, Ohanian and Tan have recently participated in a funding round for the sharing economy blockchain startup Origin through a simple agreement for future token sale, as previously reported by CoinDesk. The company itself is also looking into cryptocurrencies. Just last week, Reddit's technology head indicated the platform is planning to reintroduce cryptocurrency as a payment method for Reddit Gold members and may feature Ethereum and Litecoin in addition to Bitcoin. So Reddit used to take crypto for Reddit Gold members, and then they stopped doing that once crypto went downhill and cost them way too much, right at the height when it was just at the top, and then it started to go down and everybody stopped accepting Bitcoin, and now everyone's just like, hey, look, Bitcoin isn't going to crash for the 100th time. I better start accepting it again. So they're probably kicking themselves in the rear, anybody that hasn't been accepting crypto lately. Western Union. I know all you guys on the other side were just like, just say Western Union. Western Union is one of them that costs you a ton of money. So, you know, some people migrate, you know, they they immigrate to another country, or emigrate rather, and then and then they send money back home across a border where they're working, and they end up using Western Union or something like that, and it costs them a ton of money, a big fee to just send. Maybe they strived really hard to just make 50 or $100 to send it home, where it's worth a lot. And then they have to use Western Union, and then they eat all the fee. But if they were using crypto, but unfortunately, the one downside of crypto, again, I know that a lot of people could end up using their phones, and there's a cell phone revolution in Africa and all that stuff. So it's not as hard these days to send crypto as it once was. But I think there could be a lot easier solutions to sending crypto. For example, if you live in because I live in Arizona here, so I'm very close to the Mexican border, and there's a lot of immigration going on, and some of it illegal. But me personally, I'm kind of in the middle. I don't really care so much. There's lots of Mexicans and immigrants always looking for work, right? And that's really commendable, right? Because they just want to come here and they just want to work. They just want to work and they want to send money back home, and that's fine. But the problem is a lot of places in Mexico, I'm not saying Mexico doesn't have any technology, but a lot of places where they're coming from, they didn't have any money to begin with. So they don't have a computer, they might not have cell phones. So it's very hard for them to actually use digital currency in a nation where it's not a complete, where the ISPs haven't dominated the entire country and have internet absolutely everywhere. So it is a little bit difficult. So, they end up having to use cell phones and things like that. But then a lot of places don't actually accept cryptocurrency. So there's a lot of work to be done in the crypto world. So check out The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Again, I'm not a big fan of Stephen Colbert, but, the one good thing that comes out of this is whenever on daytime TV cryptocurrency is mentioned, that gets a lot of people interested in it, and some people really need that to be said on daytime TV, right? You have an older generation, and not even necessarily all older generations. You have a lot of people that if it's not mainstream, they won't touch it. Because they hear about Bitcoin and they're like, well, I don't really understand that. I don't have a good computer. I don't understand like how you get this currency and things like that. But when they see it on TV, then they really start to become interested in it. Maybe they think that hearing about it at work or from this person or that person, that it's just some kind of fad. It's just some kind of digital currency. Well, what guarantee do I have? It's just it can just get wiped off the internet. They don't really understand it until they see it on daytime TV or the actual media, something like that, to get them interested in crypto. So really cool. So what was behind the Bytecoin price pump rather? So this is the image that I showed you guys yesterday. It actually looks a little bit higher than what I had showed you, so it must have gone even higher. So basically, if you watched my video yesterday, Bytecoin was pumped. There was a lot of issues with Bytecoin. It wasn't able to be sent very well. Wallets were down. It was just basically totally broken right after Binance had listed Bytecoin on their exchange. And so there was this very sophisticated pump and dump. There must have been a group of individuals who have a ton of money, who are just waiting around for this sort of thing. Whenever a new coin gets listed onto an exchange, they can super pump it because there's not a lot of volume on that exchange, even though it was just listed. Well, because it was just listed, there isn't a lot of volume, there isn't a lot of liquidity. So they just simply buy whatever amount they can, pump it up to an amazing level, and then that gets other people buying and buying and buying, and then it just went way out of control. The market cap of Bytecoin went to $40 billion. I think it was maybe like 41, but $40 billion because it just rocketed in price by like 32-fold. So that put Bytecoin actually just below Ethereum and just above Ripple. Temporarily, mind you, so the price is not that anymore. So it was a very ephemeral thing. A lot of people got burned by buying Bytecoin at such a high price. Again, people, don't buy when it's green. If you see green, it's not like the best time to buy. I'm not saying that's like an always 100% deal where you never buy when it's a green, when on the green bars going up. But come on. If you see something being pumped like this gigantic wall, these walls, those aren't real. Those aren't organic. These are just pumps and dumps, and it happens all the time, every day. Some of the bigger coins can't really get pumped and dumped so easily, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, Litecoin, things like that with really high market caps. There are pump and dumps of them, or whale purchases or whale dumps that do affect the price, but not nearly as much as these altcoins. As you can see, it was less than a penny before it was even pumped, and then it was pumped as an average well over 5 cents, and on some exchanges it went way, way further than that, like Binance. So as I was waiting for my Uber ride home from work this evening, a coworker spotted me as I was leaving and asked me if I'd heard the news. Hey, you hear anything about Bytecoin thing today? Apparently it shot up 10 times after it got listed on Binance. And I had never heard of such a coin. Well, I have certainly heard of Bytecoin, but not a lot of people have, because nobody mines Bytecoin. But a quick Google search when I got home confirmed my coworker's rumor in the early mornings, May 8th, that had opened trading pairs Bytecoin with Bitcoin and Ethereum in the exchange's own Binance coin, BNB. So what quickly followed was its monumental rise from an opening price of 300 Satoshi to a closing price of 2,412 Satoshis in just 5 hours. As of press time, however, prices have cooled back down to around 250 Satoshi, so it's now even less than it was. So one thing that caught everyone's eye, however, was a glaring price disparity between BCN's trading price on Binance versus its price on only two other major exchanges, Poloniex and HitBTC. While Bytecoin, soared to over 2,000 Satoshis on Binance, it remained stagnant around 200 on other exchanges. So why was nobody taking advantage of this arbitrage opportunity of a lifetime? In order to understand where Binance's price pump came from, one must take into consideration two different factors: Bytecoin's high degree of centralization in the hands of its developers and a low number of trading pairs across exchanges. So Bytecoin was the first crypto note coin. So it's essentially the father of Monero. So Monero is a crypto note token. It's a V7 now, but Bytecoin, I believe, was the very first crypto note token. So Bytecoin is no new cryptocurrency, launched as far back as July 4th, 2012. Bytecoin is an anonymous cryptocurrency that was the first to implement CryptoNote, an application layer protocol that prevents transactions from being followed through the blockchain. Despite holding the honor of being the first privacy coin, it has since been overshadowed by its well-known competitor, Monero. So Monero has since deviated extensively from Bytecoin's original code base and now holds the 13th highest market cap. So amongst its other security flaws, its suspicious pre-mining strategy was largely responsible. Evidence on forums arose that more than 80% of all Bytecoins had already been pre-mined by the development team before the coin's public release. So the reality is that 82% of the coins were already pre-mined before its public release. Even if the pre-mined coins weren't done so maliciously, it still means 82% of the coins in the hands of the person's unknown and invisible. It basically centralizes a decentralized currency. This high degree of centralization meant that not only would the developers reap the most profits from the coin, but its low circulating supply made it vulnerable to massive market manipulation. Community's distrust is eventually what drove most traders towards Monero. So when high demand meets low supply, unsurprisingly, Bytecoin's high centralization keeps its trading volumes consistently low. Before Binance's announcement, Bytecoin only counted 5 trading pairs across Poloniex and HIT. So when Binance opened up on Bytecoin to trading, there was already limited opportunity for traders to sell their Bytecoin. Before long, Binance began to experience deposit and withdrawal delays on Bytecoin, which the site itself confirmed several hours after trading began. But then further problems began to compound the issue. First, HitBTC announced on its Twitter that it had disabled all Bytecoin transactions, presumably due to the network issues. So basically, in a nutshell, there was huge network issues as soon as it got hit on Binance. As soon as it got put on Binance. So what quickly developed was a miniature Bytecoin bubble isolated entirely on Binance's exchange with no way to transfer or sell any Bytecoin. Bytecoin's price on Binance outpaced its price on both other exchanges by a wide margin. So basically, this is really, really similar to Bitcoin Cash when it was released on Coinbase. Coinbase messed up pretty bad. So what they did was they I can't remember the exact date that it was supposed to come out on, but like it was supposed to come out on like the 30th of a month, okay? And it actually came out on like the 20th or the 21st of the month instead, and it randomly popped up. So it was announced that it was going to come out on the 30th. And about 10 days before that, Coinbase just randomly, unannounced, just put Bitcoin Cash on the exchange. Why? I don't know. And the price was raising just before that, so there was some claims of insider trading, but it was never confirmed. And basically, nobody could trade, nobody could sell their Bitcoin Cash. They could really only buy it. So it jacked the price of Bitcoin Cash up super, super high on Coinbase. For just a few hours, it reached thousands and thousands of dollars when it was not supposed to be that much. So a lot of people got burned by that. So that's basically what happened to Bytecoin. There could have been some nefarious practices going on there. I'm not sure. But either way, 82% pre-mined coin is pretty nefarious in itself. So 5 reasons to stay away from Bytecoin. So make sure you're able to send and receive coins, as delays are unnerving and losses may hurt deeply. For now, exchanges have closed wallets and it may take a while before the market calms down. The Bytecoin network produces a block every 2 minutes, which may be inadequate even for a small run to move coins between exchanges. Waiting for a less congested time may be a good idea. So the Bytecoin team, what is known about the old and the new Bytecoin team is that their propensity for exotic pseudonyms. This is the biggest issue with the project, where developers and community leaders wish to remain concealed. This is always a big deal. This is always a problem. BitConnect, Devor, all these lending platforms. Whoa, let me guess. Are they in the public spotlight? No, they sure aren't. I wonder why. Granted, there are other anonymous lead developers, but in the case of Bytecoin, the new team will have to prove itself first. So mining is risky. Since Bytecoin is the first crypto note anonymous coin, it is in theory mineable by GPU, but the most common pool, MinerGate, is also suffering from the network congestion and rewards are not paid out. That makes sense from MinerGate, though. Additionally, there is no way to estimate who is mining on the network and with what equipment it is possible that some hashing power is mining this coin. Now that Monero has become ASIC resistant, which means that attempting to mine Bytecoin through a wallet and a GPU may be a futile exercise. Additionally, crypto note mining software is sometimes intentionally inefficient, with smaller rewards and ways to abduct hashing power to benefit other wallets. Too much publicity. Twitter served Bytecoin well, and the latest peak in prices caused a massive spike in social media activity, which means that now the Bytecoin price may be swayed this and that way by varying opinions. So it's best to wait out for the hype to slow down and for the panic to settle, then do proper research on the technology and limitations of the project. So price volatility. The sudden fame of Bytecoin may lead to the price of the Bytecoin asset to swing wildly, with trading, deposits, and withdrawals frozen. Currently, Bytecoin price has, in effect, dropped to zero, at least temporarily, but it is hard to predict what would happen in the coming days. Whales and large wallets may decide to liquidate coins, additional pumps may follow, and the price may remain volatile. Well, here's what's going to happen, basically. As soon as the network comes back and you can actually move your Bytecoin and wallets aren't totally frozen, it is going to dump something awful. So just be ready to sell that. That's what I would be doing. As soon as my wallet comes online, I would dump it. But I own no Bytecoin because I've never saw any use for Bytecoin, and that is that. So here's another article. Zilliqa becomes the latest crypto to break 1 billion market cap. So Zilliqa has just become one of the 28 currencies to boast a market capitalization over 1 billion. So anybody investing into Zilliqa just made a lot of money. According to CoinMarketCap, Zilliqa passed the 1 billion threshold late Monday. It's worth nearly 1.2 billion at the time of writing, making it the world's 23rd most valuable cryptocurrency. So the rise coincided with the announcement that Zilliqa is able to trade on OKX, third highest volume cryptocurrency tracked. So the coin is also available to trade on Binance, Huobi, Gate, and among others. So the Singapore-based project presents itself as solving the scalability problems endemic to blockchain technology through sharding, an efficiency-boosting technique that predates Bitcoin but has yet to prove its viability in big permissionless networks. First introduced last year, the team's white paper claims that Ethereum's present network size of 30,000 miners, Zilliqa would expect to process about 1,000 times that transaction rate of Ethereum. So the Ethereum network plans to introduce sharding in the future, perhaps undercutting Zilliqa's value proposition. Zilliqa's market cap has more than tripled in the past 30 days. The coin is worth just over 16 cents at the time of writing, and is up 16.9% in 24 hours. So yay for Zilliqa if you're holding on to that. Congratulations. Zappo vaults store 10 billion in Bitcoin as investors stir. So there's actually a lot of news articles on this about billionaires putting Bitcoin into vaults. So speaking to Bloomberg about the startup's network of underground vault, 2 clients and a further anonymous source close to the venture confirmed that the figure was an accurate approximation of its holdings. Zappo made headlines when it began storing Bitcoin in a mountainside vault in Switzerland after moving to the country from California. So now storage requirements span 5 continents, handling coins from both private and institutional investors, and even offers some other crypto offerings. So CoinShare is a UK-based investment product. The research firm has deposited around 500 million of client funds with Zappo. Everyone who isn't keeping them keys themselves is keeping them with Zappo. You couldn't pay me to keep it with a bank. So, you know, kind of interesting. And again, I have to go back to the whale and talk more about whales, you know, and people with a lot of money. And that's all said and good. I'm not bashing anybody with a lot of money because, you know, whatever. But it just goes to show that, you know, little miners, little traders, the little people are still, in the end, we're all excited about crypto and everyone is getting into it. And sure, it can make you money. And there's no doubt about that, that just holding on to some coins for a year and then selling them, you certainly made money. It's very easy to do. But in the end, the people that are going to win are, again, the same people that we're trying to essentially get away from. I had somebody argue in the comments that, you know, just because you're a whale doesn't mean you always win. Kind of does. Yeah, it kind of does, unfortunately. I'm going to have to go ahead and hard disagree with that because you're a billionaire. Why? Why? Why are you a millionaire? Why are you a billionaire? Is it because you lose all the time? Or is it because you win all the time? Let me guess. It's because you win all the time. So in the end, really, I think in a decade or something like that, crypto is going to be in a different spot, in a very different spot, in very numerous ways. So many ways that, you know, I don't really want to talk about it just yet, furthering the blockchain and things like that, but not necessarily that Bitcoin is going to be the winner or Ethereum is going to be the winner, nothing like that. Just it's going to be in a very different place. And all the millionaires, all the billionaires are going to hold all the crypto. And I think we're going to be left in the rain once again, just like how we tried to get away from fiat. So hold on to your crypto as long as you can, because it will one day be worth a lot, especially with people putting away 10 billion at a time into gigantic Swiss vaults. So now let's talk about the price here real quick. So we're at a $433 billion market cap. So we've gone down 20 billion or so. And not too bad in the past few days anyway. So not too bad. So Bitcoin's doing all right. We see a lot of red. We're seeing very little green. So the winner of the day in the top 100, and mind you, this is just top 100 whenever I do this. So Pundi X is up 44.55%. Zilliqa way up as well. And just over that 1 billion market cap. It's actually 1.3 now. So people are hard pumping this coin. It's actually at 18 cents. We just read an article that it was at 16 cents. Now 18 cents. So anybody that's looking to buy a coin that is hard going up right now, maybe Zilliqa, but that could change at any time. It is the crypto world after all. Dogecoin, the loser of the day, interestingly enough, and that's because of Doge's infinite supply, and I don't think some people get inflation and deflation in the world. And they just, for some reason, they think that Dogecoin is going to go up in price eventually, that it's going to be $1 someday or something like that. That's absurd. It's never going to happen because Doge does not have a circulating supply cap. It just keeps on going and going and going. So therefore, every single Doge that gets introduced into the world essentially makes all other Doge less valuable. So I want to bring you guys to this once again, turtlebc.com, and you can check the buy. You just go to tools and the buy market percentage. There we go. And we can see that the buy market percentage is now only 31.43%. So we are going down in price. So that means that sellers are basically about 69, well, 70% dominating the market right now. And that means that prices are going to be going down. So when you see it above 50%, prices are going to be going up. When you see it below 50%, prices are typically going down. Now, it's not a guarantee sort of thing, but this is a very, very useful tool. And I actually advise using this when you're day trading or when you're doing any kind of trading. Take a look at this and look at it every day and see where the market is going. So if everybody is selling that means that the price is going down, and when it's below 50%, it should be a pretty good time to buy. The further that this gets down to the bottom, it's a better time to buy. So that means that, because generally the prices will go down along with this as the sellers, only 10%, only 8%, 4% buyers. That means that everybody's selling. So if you buy in, that means you're buying in at a inherently lower price. And when you see this all the way at 90%, and when you see it start to go down like that, now there's no reason that it couldn't just go down, as you can see, and then start to come back up. But when you see it start to go down, it's an excellent time to sell. Because now everybody is starting to slowly buy less, and it's going to get below 50% again, potentially, and it will be a great time to buy after that. So again, when you see it at its height, great time to sell. When you see it at the bottom, it's a great time to buy. So this is actually a really useful chart for traders. As simple as this is, this really gives you a huge, a very good glimpse into what the market is doing. Are the majority of people selling, or are the majority of people buying? And you do the opposite. The opposite. Yes, I know that's really unintuitive, maybe to the brain, but you do the opposite. When it is all the way up here, time to sell. When it's all the way at the bottom, time to buy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and as usual, I will see you guys next time.